And we're on. Hello, everyone. Greetings. Alright, so I had another stupid idea. Hooray! I love stupid ideas. I got Veronica too. What's up? So let me just let me just explain to you what's about to happen. I, Game Guy, and Roy, that's me, are going to play um an online game because why not? Now, I wanted to do Mario 63 because I think I might be able to get that to work, but last time I tried to do it on StreamYard, it did not go well. So I'm instead gonna do this. I don't know if I can though. I think I. Yeah, well, Kyle tries to figure that out. Hi everyone, it's me, Roy, here to say hello. That's what he does. All right, Discord. Is this recording? That is my question. Well, yes. Yep. We're good. All right. Cool. So hopefully, I'm not sure about this, but hopefully, I'm gonna mute myself because I don't. I don't know if it's like if you can hear two of me or what or what's gonna happen or I don't know what's gonna happen. Give me a sec. Just give it a second. It doesn't like when I do this. And they kicked us out. Although that's to be expected. This is which is a shame because I feel like that would have been really cool if I got that to work. You almost got it to work. Yeah, almost. I got it to work for like 5 seconds and then it just died. Yeah, it did. It did not like me doing that. All right, Plan B. What's Plan B? First of all, it's not going to be the golf stream anymore. I guess we can just do a random chill stream. Maybe you can do something else. What else am I supposed to do? Like, I can't get that to work. This was on the computer. I probably could have gotten it to work, but it just old Chrome does not. Well, not old Chrome, but the Blue Beast does not like me doing that. So that's not gonna work. All right, Bambi. Never mind on the putt putt. That's not gonna work. So if that doesn't work, what's Plan to be? Plan B. Gotta admit, it was a good try though. Yeah, I'd rather know that I tried than not. I would rather know that I tried and failed than to know that. I don't know. Where am I going with this? That's a good question. I still didn't get much sleep last night, by the way. I got more sleep, but I don't know. Retro's already here. Wow, look at that. He's just so quick.
Hey, hey, game guy, what's happening, my friend?
Absolutely nothing.
You still
I tried to
tired?
get an online game going on. No, I'm good. I tried to get an online game going on in here, but it did not like me doing that. So
Yeah. So yeah, I modded my PS3, so I guess I'm gonna just put some PS3 games on it.
you got a PS3, but didn't get any games for
Yeah,
it. What?
yeah, I got a PS3 and I already modded the system, so I put three of PS. I'm gonna put some PS3 games on there. But
This is a little awkward. Yeah, because I wanted to do that online game, and then it just did not want to work. So
What online game are you gonna play?
I was gonna do this putt game Malachi showed me, but I tried,
Putt
but
putt.
it nearly
You talking about the
fried my
car putt
computer.
putt?
So that's why I'm not sticking to.
The putt the
There's a
car putt
car
putt.
that's called putt.
What was that game
I
made
don't know
by
anything about cars.
Was that game made by HE Entertainment?
I don't know. It's just some Discord game.
Okay.
It's definitely not a car, though. Exactly. I guess while we wait for people to show up, I guess we can just talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Oops. I didn't mean to press that. That's the private chat. Wrong chat. Hold on. Oh, I already put it in there. Never mind. There's an extra one just in case. Exactly. That's what's happening here. I might have to re-put the stream. Hold on. I thought this thing was pretty strong too. If I was at mom's and had the computer, I probably could have gotten it to work, but
Yep.
yeah, well, things happen, I guess. So what now?
Yeah. You talk about anything. On my Nintendo DS, I played Pokemon Platinum, and all my Pokemon are in the like 30s or something.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Kyle,
I
any
got my
random
first gym
things you want to
badge.
talk about?
I got my
Oh.
first gym badge. My very first gym badge.
Well, there are a couple things I could mention. Like the fact that I have beaten. Give me 1 sec. How many levels in Mario Maker have I beaten so far? Mario Maker 2, sorry. I still can't believe you have this game. I also can't believe that you played this like forever.
What?
Mario Maker 2, whatever.
I never played Mario Maker before.
You need to get on that. It's a great game.
Yeah, I will. I'll get Mario Maker 2. I'm gonna get that game on Switch.
That means we could play together. Insane.
Yeah, and also I could get I have I already have that Mega Man Battle Network: The Legacy Collection. Yeah, all my my Pokemon are like in their mid-30s. Like I managed to beat the first gym leader.
Hmm. Now, what did Swedish say? Or however this. Swedish says he might join in soon. All right, cool. Let's get rid of this
Cool.
so it doesn't
Swedish
break
is
this
actually
game.
nice. It's a really good community, but it's a really good community.
Yeah. His community is basically my community too, so.
Yep, good guys. Very good guys.
Yeah, they're really nice. I'll shut the door in a minute. I gotta come back in.
Look, there's your brother. There's Roy.
Actually, I'm right here. That was Dad.
Oh, Dad. Okay.
It's more impressive this way. This game will not load correctly. My God, I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you hate this game that you've played like a month on.
No, I didn't play it. I
More
didn't
than a
play it
month,
at all.
Roy. It's more than a month. Please don't throw Luigi off the cliff. Thank you. Alright. I have beaten so far. I've beaten 12,185 levels on normal difficulty in Mario Maker 2.
Oh, sweet.
Because I'm
You put
just that
hours
crazy.
into it.
Damn. And my global rank is 307th. Which doesn't sound that impressive, but considering how many people play this game.
Yeah.
How many hours do I have on this game, actually? I don't know if I do.
Boy, I'm going out.
Alright.
Can't see your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be home by 8:30.
There goes our dad, everyone.
Yeah.
Round of
My
applause
dad,
for our
my
dad.
dad's pretty awesome. He's good with electronics.
I have played 840 hours of Super Mario Maker 2. My God. That's so much. Welcome to my life, Roy. Welcome to my life. What happens when I don't have a job or anything? So I guess we can just talk about whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, I'm just putting Guilty Gear on my PS3.
Did you hear that bird is the word? No, what?
Yeah. I've heard about that.
God. I really just don't know what to talk about. Oh, I know what to talk about. Let's talk about bad TV shows.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad. There are a lot of terrible ones out there. For example, the one I hated the most was Teen Titans Go. That show was shit.
Thank you. That was
My God. It's a slap.
So
it's basically a slap in the face to people who watched the original.
Didn't they make wasn't one of the episodes of Teen Titans Go it was like the Return of Slade, he was one of the original villains. I've never actually seen the show, but I've heard that he was. And then they just said, no, it didn't come back at all. We're just gonna laze around and slap you in the face because you wanted to see the thing, but then you didn't get to see.
Yeah. I heard that was a doubt. Cartoon Network is dead. That was a dick move of them. After I said fuck Cartoon Network.
Yeah. Nickelodeon's pretty dead too, to be fair though.
Yeah, because they're evil.
Nickelodeon's not evil.
Yes, they are. Go on YouTube and look up the Nickelodeon Dan Snyder situation. And the Butch Hartman situation. And not only that, the Butch Hartman.
Hold up there, silver hair. Cartoon Network isn't not Cartoon. Yeah. Nickelodeon's not evil just because they have one mean person or one perverted person or whatever. No, Roy's right about that. I mean, Dan Snyder was creepy, but that doesn't mean the entire Nickelodeon cast was mean.
No, it wasn't their fault. They were abused by a man named Dan Snyder.
Weird to think one person can run the whole company to the ground.
Yeah, and it's Dan Snyder. Not just him, but Butch Hartman too. Go on YouTube, look up the Dan Snyder situation, and after that, look up the Butch Hartman situation.
What about Steven Hillenburg?
He died. He passed away.
Steven Hillenburg was a grace. He was a great
Yeah, I
guy.
agree.
If
I
he
agree.
wasn't a
I
complete
agree.
ass wipe like everybody else on Nickelodeon.
I will say this right now. I think that like before Steven Hellenberg passed away, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, at least he had some dignity.
Yeah, and then he passed away.
When did he die from again? Let's not discuss that. Sounds good. Yeah. No, that was a dumb question. Yeah. What do I think? If my God, I didn't get any play last night. Anyway, yeah, but those situations were bad. But like,
Yep.
okay, so not thinking about the people without behind them. Henry Danger was still bad, and my God, it was just such a terrible show.
Yeah. What show?
Henry Danger.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I agree. Henry Danger was awful.
I feel like all Nickelodeon sitcoms were bad. Drake and Josh wasn't bad, and
No, it was terrible. I did not like Henry Danger at all. Take it back.
I thought you were gonna say Drake and Josh was bad. I was gonna have a dipshit.
What the heck? Was that aborted?
Could it be a rare situation that perhaps I could not expect? Lord Acidicus!
Oh my lord.
Good morning.
DuckTales. DuckTales.
A rare situation. A wild lord has arrived.
DuckTales.
Up, Lord.
Woo.
Like,
Hey, what's up, my
there.
friend? Nice to meet you.
I was gonna say, has he even met Lord yet? I don't even know.
DuckTales. Woo. I'm downloading Disney's DuckTales Remastered on PS3.
Alright.
Really good. Ah, that aborted too. My lord. Good night.
That's Lord.
was gonna say,
So, what's up with you, Lord?
not much. You?
Absolutely nothing. I was gonna try to get the game putt going on in here, but it did not want to work, so now I'm just going doing a regular stream, I guess.
I'm okay.
Copy. Like that. Copy Jack and Daxter.
And I'm like that.
That works. I love Jack and Daxter.
Which is coming soon, so we'll see
The
how
first
that goes.
Jack and Daxter game was fun.
We're just discussing bad TV shows, pretty much.
Yeah. Hey guys, do you guys remember Jack and Daxter on the PlayStation 2?
I grew up on
Surprisingly,
Nintendo, so.
Surprisingly, the PS3 version is a lot better than the PS4 version.
Also, is this the first time Lord's ever been on your streams before?
Yeah, for me, yes.
Lord, have you been on my channel before this?
I don't know. Maybe.
He probably has. You just forgot. Yeah, if I was at Mom's, I'd do Chaos editions of the randomizer, but I'm at Dad, so it's a shame. I think Lauren would have liked that.
Jack 2 doing the food.
Maybe.
You know, some people hated Jak 2 on PlayStation 2 because they thought it was a ripoff of Grand Theft Auto. Some people hated Jak 2 because they thought it was a ripoff of GTA. That's what some people hated about Jak 2. But over time, I began to love Jak 2 because that game was not a ripoff of GTA. It's actually a good game. And then Jak 3 comes out, and then there's Jak X Combat Racing. I wish if they do a remake if they do a complete remaster of all the Jak and Daxter games, They should include Jack X Combat Racing.
Well,
That game needs to come back. I feel like it.
normally when game companies make compilations, they don't do side games.
Well, they should.
Actually, he has a point. Unless the compilation was side games.
No, but they should. When they do compilations, they gotta do main games and side games.
Opinions. That is some. So, Lord, you got any bad TV shows on your mind?
Copy in 22
Two.
files.
Tell us about.
Bad
I guess.
one?
No. Yeah, bad.
22 files.
The season 25 of Thomas Kent.
Thomas and Friends
What's
had
that?
25 seasons? Jesus Christ.
Hi, Mama.
Yep. The latest one was the last.
Didn't they make a Flash animated version of Thomas and Friends? Or whatever?
Oh God, that was hard. I don't like that. I never liked it. Thomas the Tank Engine.
You are so lucky Malachite's not here right now.
He freaked me out as a kid. He freaked me out as a kid. I didn't like the way how he freaked me out.
You're lucky you never saw JJ the Jet Plane.
Yeah, that freaked me out too. So did Barney. No, I'll be honest. Those shows gave me nightmares.
Hey, Thomas and Friends was at least still good. Barney.
My favorite show. I watch a lot of Japanese anime. Like I watch Pokemon, I watch Digimon, I watch Beyblade, Bakugan.
Does Kyle have an admission for you? Hi, I've never watched anime before.
Wait, has Kyle watched anime?
Nope. Not
Dang.
a single one. And I probably never will because I'm not interested in them. Listen,
I am.
I respect them. I respect the hell out of them. They did a lot for animation, but most of them are like 50 seasons long. I can't keep up with that stuff. And maybe it's just me, but I sometimes can't tell the genders of the characters. Some look like girls, but they're guys, and some look like guys, but they're girls. It's just a mess. I just never got into them at all. Avatar and Korra were the closest to anime I've ever watched, but
yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender. Yeah, that was made by Nickelodeon, but it was also made by a Korean studio. Same with Legend of Korra.
Good.
I did not like Legend of Korra. I liked Avatar: Last Airbender. That was better.
I
never watched either.
Okay, I will admit Airbender is better, but Korra's not that bad.
Yeah, she did save both her world and the spirit world from being destroyed.
No, I've just meant the series in general.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Alright, what other bad TV shows can we come up with?
Too.
Sounds like this. I wish I was at Moms and playing the randomizer instead.
Yeah, they're fixing it.
Bad TV shows. I'm thinking.
Oh, in fact, I've got a good one.
It'd be like a boomerang.
Which one?
Yeah.
She-Hulk.
Like a boomerang.
Which one?
She-Hulk.
You know, I was like the
Oh,
90s
gee.
Spider-Man in the animated series
The
cartoon.
Marvel one.
I have never watched a superhero show before. You really gotta get into that. Like, even I admit that, and I also didn't watch much of it.
My favorite superhero show be Spider-Man, the 1994 animated series.
It's hard to get into something you've never really witnessed as a kid. I never really read any of the superhero comics. That's fair. I mean, also I should, yeah, I'll second that because I'm his brother. Yeah, he's never seen any superhero stuff. Mario's the closest he's gotten. Close enough. Whatever. What other stuff? Caillou? Oh god, not Caillou. That bald-headed little bastard is better off canceled, thrown inside a volcano and burnt to a crisp.
Oh God, no,
No, you're right about you're right about that. That's probably the worst thing that's ever come out of Canada. It
What?
definitely is. Caillou's Canadian? Yep. Holy shit, I didn't know that. I thought it was from the US. Actually, I thought it was from the UK and the US. I thought it was both of them.
right now. I'm getting the Dragon Ball Z.
No, he's from
I'm
Canada
I'm
and
getting
he's from the
Dragon Ball
US.
Z HD collection on the PS3.
Oh yeah, you're right. I guess. I don't know.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Z.
No, I'm putting the Dragon Ball Z HD collection on the PS3. For some odd reason, that game you have to unlock Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. I know how do you unlock that. I gotta look that up. Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Z. Oh, again.
No, Dragon Ball Z. Originally, it was
I hear the Z, and I have to say it like that because it's
the first series was called Dragon Ball. Then it went straight to Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball GT, then Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, Dragon Ball GT.
You know what the
together.
You know what GT stands for? Grand Tour Galaxy Touring in Japan.
You didn't even let us guess. What the hell? I'm assuming you didn't get any sleep last night, Roy. No, I got plenty of it. I just don't know what to do. I'm so bored.
Pardon?
The police force.
That's a good question.
Or police force. Hey man, no dude. Police force. Police force.
Yeah, I've got nothing. Any other bad TV shows you got? Hold on, I'm thinking.
Man, gonna walk through your door. Walk through your door. Shoot you.
While Roy's thinking about bad TV shows, they can be sequels too. Oh, they can be sequels. Yeah, I mean like sequels to the original show. All right. Just any bad show you can think of, just throw it out there and. Oh.
First.
You want to know a bad show?
Can't sleep.
Yes, I do want to know that show. That's the whole point of me asking was to tell me a bad show. Oh, well, we got I don't know. That's about seasons 4 to 8 of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, I like SpongeBob
That's
for what it was, but nowadays it's terrible.
Well, that's those are seasons, but it's part like if you probably the best season out of the after movie era of SpongeBob. 4 was before it got really bad, and then
Yeah, that's
after
because Stephen
after
Hillenburg
4
passed
is when I'd say
away.
it got pretty bad. No, he passed away after season 10.
He did?
He came back during 9. He was in it part ways through 10, and then he died. I think he died around when
It's
10
a good
ended,
thing I
or
upgraded
like
to a
around when 11
500
started.
gigabyte
But
flash drive, a 500 gigabyte flash drive for my PS3. Himalayas.
yeah, then when he died, it got like way too lonkers. Things got really bad after that, I'd say.
I can't wait to watch that new Scott Pilgrim
Yeah.
show on Netflix. Tasmania. DuckTales. DuckTales. Ooh. DuckTales.
Although, which Backrooms is so much more interesting. That'll be the pillar I
007.
die on.
Right
Because
now, I'm getting GoldenEye on the PS3.
I don't care. I like the Backrooms more than the SCP Foundation.
The GoldenEye 007.
Because the thing is, here's the thing. I feel like with the SCP Foundation, it's these weird ass creatures from another world show up in our world, and now suddenly we have to deal with whatever they give to us. With the Backrooms, it's us going to where the monsters are. So it makes it more interesting like that. I don't know. That's always how I saw it. I'd rather be thrown into the world where the monsters come from than have the monsters be thrown to ours. It's much more interesting that way. It's always been. I get that. Can I also ask what the hell is happening over with Retro?
I'm just pretending. I'm pretending I'm James Bond.
Why?
Because I want to be a secret agent.
Did I wake up in some kind of alternate universe? What's going on here? You're not usually like this.
I like James Bond. I grew up with that franchise.
Hey, that's great, but you don't normally do this in your streams.
Do. I'm just happy today. I'm happy today.
Well, people show joy in other ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It just wasn't what I was expecting today. Lord, quick, say another bad TV show.
I will have to say DC Superhero Girls. That show was shit.
I said Lord, but okay.
I don't think it was the worst.
Well, it doesn't
I
have
think
to
when
be
it
the worst.
started
It just
out,
has to be bad.
it wasn't that bad. I don't think.
James Bond. GoldenEye. GoldenEye. Ninja.
Now
Gar.
I'm
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah. We got
You sure it is? I don't know. There's some. I didn't do anything. I don't know what's going on. So, before we all go, like, wondering what's going on here. I can't stop.
Guns. GoldenEye. This. Oh my. Oh God. There. Oh no. I gotta get going, game guy.
All right.
See ya.
Stay good. Hey, what happened to Lord? He must have left. To be honest, it's not like it was that interesting of a stream anyway. I'm gonna delete it. I don't know. I don't know what the okay. Hmm. I don't know, man. What do you want to talk about? We could talk about. I don't know. Honestly, this is so not what I was expecting when I started the stream. I thought that was gonna work better than this. It did not. So now I'm just kind of wondering what we should really do now. We can exist together. Let us together exist. Existence! Hooray! We did it. We're so good at this. Wow, we're already existing. We're too good at this. We really are, my man. We were so good that we started before we even knew we were gonna do it. Exactly. Oh, didn't mean to press that. You know what? It's Halloween, so we gotta talk about Halloween stuff. So, with that in mind, Roy, what perhaps is your favorite Halloween monster? I don't know, honestly. They're all pretty good. I mean, the idea of just like a monster, just like half the things that's wrong with them isn't even that. Here's the thing. At first, they were pretty cool because there's these like they're these crazy, weird, creepy monsters. There's like zombies, which are undead thingamabobbers. We have skeletons, which are basically the same except they're the bones instead of the flesh and all this stuff. Problem is, there's just one problem with all of them. At first, their weaknesses made sense. You know, they weren't like wildly out of control, but they all made sense. Zombies only coming out at night, that makes sense. Their skin's probably like melts off and stuff. So if they're out in the sun, their skin is probably gonna like concrete onto them or something like that. Zombies seen in at night, I mean having night vision also makes sense. They only come out at night, so that makes sense. Skeletons falling apart and being able to pull themselves back together, that also makes sense. Because if they can break apart easily, then they can regenerate easily. But my god, they got a little ridiculous after a while. I guess I know what you mean. Vampires. Oh my fucking god, don't get me started. The amount of stupidity, like stupid ways that a vampire can be killed nowadays, it's just ridiculous, dude. I remember back in the day when vampires could only be killed with the stake to the heart. And now it's gotten from that to the sun can kill them, garlic can kill them, although that's like the dumbest reason in the world. Like, how can that even work? Holy water can kill them, which I guess makes sense. I mean, they're doing unholy things, but like, it still doesn't make a lot of sense. What else can kill them? I'm pretty sure, like, if they're lit on fire, they die. I'm pretty sure if they were like, there's probably like 1,000 other ways that they could die. And for reason, they're like the dumbest reasons in the world. It's like, what's the point? You're making this creature that's supposed to be sucking people's blood, and you're telling me that there's like 13 different ways to kill them. What's the point? You make it. I thought they made them so that they're creepy and pretty much unkillable. So and now there's like 13,000 different ways for you to kill vampires. It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, dude. I didn't realize you were so against it. No, I just hate it, dude. That's been in my head for a while. I wanted to talk about that for a long time. I just think it's so stupid because it's like they used to be scary and now they're just kind of there. It's like, what's the point? I just think it's so stupid. I also think it's dumb that they all only come out at night. Like, none of them come out during the day, only at night. That's just so ridiculous, dude. Hmm. I don't know. It's just so silly. I get that. I guess this is what we're talking about now. Hey, monsters. Ah, Mr. Swedish. I'd already got you in here. Hi.
What up?
You wouldn't believe it, but Lord was here earlier. I don't know what happened to him though.
Really? That was to do. Uh, well, I have to say, I had a lot of long day. It just, I didn't go to work since didn't sleep well last night for some reason. So I was at home alone for a few hours since my parents went to pick up the new dog, and is whining a little at the cat. Well, she isn't well, scared of him like that, but just, cautious. I mean, suddenly new dog in the house, and I mean, it's just, any, even a person can feel the same thing. Like, say, if, like, say, your cousins, but it became your adopted sisters, like, they move in, and they must have felt the same thing, even though they had been there before, but, being adopted a family and living there, it's, new. So today I really haven't done much. Just been watching some TV. Something on called BuzzFeed Unsolved. It's a channel that two guys has been talked about different topics, true crime, supernatural, like that. And of course, I've been doing a lot of stories today. I think I done, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 audio stories. And I don't tell you, that's a record in just in one day. Well, I only have about 5 left to take care of, but that I'll do it tomorrow. Uh, you know, you were playing this golf play, putt party. I was about to join in, uh, but my computer wanted a pain in the ass to slow down. So that
That
happened.
could have been because I was trying to stream it on here.
Not really. I mean, that was before you started streaming.
No, that was during it.
Huh.
I was streaming, trying to get it to work. You
Well,
joined, and then it just freaked out.
I mean, that was, I think, it was not you the cause of it, since, I mean, it's unlike your computer can have affect my computer like that and over Wi-Fi, so doubt it. But my computer can be that slow if I use StreamYard or in a voice call like that on Discord. Happens. And for no reason, I don't know why, but uh, that is something I can live with. At least it happens only when I use that time. Otherwise, my computer is perfectly fine. Even though my dad asked me if I want to get a new computer, but nope. Even though this one is, I think, 4, 5 years old, and when I did get it, it was factory brand new. So as long as it still works and there's no issues with it, I don't think anyone would like to just change a new computer or anything. Well, I will say this: my brother is just really lucky for himself because on Sunday is leaving the country. He's going to Cyprus for a week with his girlfriend and her parents. Lucky him. I never been overseas that far away. If I would go, I'd probably say New Zealand. I mean, that's an amazing place. Rainforest, snowy country, the bottom, mountain tops, you name it. Well, unless you want to be meeting the New Zealand Bigfoot. Yep, apparently they have a Bigfoot there as well. So yeah, that has
Is
been
there
my
any
day.
place that doesn't have one?
Well, New Zealand has a Bigfoot. Australia has a Bigfoot. China has a Bigfoot. Um, Russia has a Bigfoot. I think even some. This might surprise you. Even apparently in Sweden, Finland, Norway, and even Denmark, suppose had a Bigfoot sighting. I was like, okay, even though I didn't know that was even possible. Though there is one supposed Bigfoot sighting, or at least large hominid creature supposed to be sighted on Svalbard, which is it's an island way further up North Sea, which I don't think there's actually have any large human population up there, but I doubt it. There's supposed to be any. But Svalbard do in fact have one other thing. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but they had this sea vault up there. Is there something you guys heard
What?
of? A seed vault? It's
With the
it's a
vault
vault.
proceeds?
Yeah, seeds for not like flowers, but maybe flowers, but mostly plants that they can grow. You know, wheat, corn, pumpkin, all that kind of things. Since that is supposed to be in if well, let's say if there was some major disaster, like a big catastrophe that's would destroy a lot of current crops around the world. You know, climate change and like a giant flood or something. So the sea vault is built to contain thousands, thousands of seeds that would could use if that type of disaster would happen. And here's the thing: that place doesn't have any artificial cooling system at all. It only have natural because they are buried deep in a permafrost, which is frozen land, which I don't think they actually have any personal people in there in that vault. It's a good thing though that they build the vault to just maintain. I mean, just imagine if you have a huge population, say, if you live in a country like say in the U.S. which have around 335 million people, and it's a big disaster, and 99.9% of the population would suffer from starvation, and a major of the country's crops like corn, other being, you know, out of the picture. So they decide to just have the vault where they can protect some species of plants that's, you know, not only protected from being extinct, but also in just in case if a major disaster would happen. And it's not a bad idea. I mean, if it could actually help humanity in the long run if they're after a major disaster, so why not? I mean, I know this as there are several fallout shelters around in the US, like Cheyenne Mountains, which is in Colorado, also home to NORAD, which is a nickname for short. Um, that particular place is built in top of a mountain, so they could survive a nuclear or perhaps even a meteor impact, and it could survive support maybe a large number of people. Uh, for example, have you seen Terminator 3: Rise of Machines?
Um, what?
Have you guys seen Terminator 3: Rise of Machines?
I don't think so.
Well, basically, in that movie where Connor and his, well, later fiance or wife, Catherine, take shelter in an old abandoned shelter or bomb shelter like that. Um, or as there is a bunker beneath the White House, for example. Most um, most major fallout shelters that's in the mountains are usually only for you know, governmental officials, senators, doctors, president, and you name it. And those places usually large, um, have usually large uh, piles of food that's prepared if something would happen. And yeah, but luckily those hasn't been used. You know, there was actually one, well, former Fallout shelter that was literally built in an actual hotel, and that the entrance was behind a false wall. That is
Hmm.
impressive. But I don't think it's actually in no longer use. But Rocky Mountains, for example, could have been potentially a place for to build like that type of, shelter, fallout shelter for governmental officials like the president or something like that. But some places could also be used to store um, some very important documents, like say Declaration of Independence, maybe some very first Bible, maybe personal journal of the previous presidents like Washington, Lincoln, you name it. And well, not impossible. I mean, it's like you guys seen 2012, right? The movie.
20 what?
2012, the movie.
They made a movie based off of the number 2012.
Okay, you guys probably must have heard at least this um, supposed prediction. What did would happen in 2012 in December? You guys even know what was supposed to happen then?
Wait, wasn't that the year that the Mayan calendar ended or whatever?
Bingo, bingo, you got it. They literally made a movie based on that type of prediction. Literally made 2012. Basically, humanity realized um, um, they discovered very high activity of solar flared activity. So basically, the world governments were aware of this because suddenly people from new formed organization actually started to take away very much important items, including Mona Lisa from the museum, but replace with a fake copy, well, identical copy. And those items were later transported to China, where they were building arks, well, ships, to store down and include some animals and humans. And which later turned out only continent in the world that was not suffer was Africa. During the time of those, um, I don't know if you since you probably haven't seen the movie, but basically, what happened in North American continent, little landmass part just simply ripped from the, like say, part of the beach and land models just flipped upside down, like literally just flipped up, and half of American continent was under submerged completely. But African continent, that didn't even get flooded. Instead, it was raised up in the air, list up from the seafloor and even higher up. Himalayas or Mount Everest were no longer the tallest mountain. In fact, Dragon Mountain in South Africa or South in Africa was actually the tallest. And yeah, but people when they found out about this Mayan calendar was supposed to be meaning the end of the world, people assumed that literally what happened, but it didn't. I mean, if it did, we wouldn't be here right now. But it were people at least predicted or at least how they interpreted it, like the Mayan calendar would meant the end of the world. Like 2012, December 21st would be the end of the world. But it didn't. But another thing about that, the calendar of the Mayans, it didn't. But it restart. Because that calendar would eventually end again. But not in our lifetime. I think this lasts between, what was it, 7,500 years, give or take. So the next time isn't until the year 9512. Just sit down and wait. I mean, for example, the Mayan calendars are like our own. For example, our calendar starts January 1st and ends December 31st. I mean, in if our calendar lasts for just 365 days or 66 to depend on the leap year, but since our calendars ends every year and a new starts the year after that, the Mayans started the same, just except it's way longer. I mean, they had two calendars. One, I think, was about 260 days. Those were only important holidays like ritual days, and the 365 days were mostly otherwise. I don't know if you guys know about the most dark part of the Mayan culture. Do you know what it is?
I don't.
Well, this is something that may involve something that Kyle would not even handle that much. One word: blood. Literally. Um, just a bit hands up, just warning you. This might be a bit graphic, but it's true. The Mayans, they they pleased the gods by often put prisoner of war on the temples, which they used obsidian, a knife, to cut out the person's heart while they were still alive and rip the heart out while it was pumping at, and then just threw the body down the stairs. Sometimes they even ate the heart raw. Because that they did because they wanted to please the gods in order to have a good harvest each year. And, well, even the Mayan rulers did something as well, but that's, well, it, I won't be too graphic, but they, I will type in private so you guys can read that instead of just saying it out loud, but it's graphic. There we go. That's what they did.
I'm not gonna read whatever it says. Jesus Christ!
Yep, that was what they did. And trust me, I don't want to. I just don't want to read it out loud either, since I didn't want to have that too graphic. But the Mayans, they even made something else. Um, they put the skulls of prisoners or uh, deceased members who died natural causes, of course, and put that in catacombs. Like it could be thousands of skulls. I mean, I do believe even Paris catacombs have the same thing, like thousands of skulls along the walls. Some are early Christians, I think. I actually heard a story about a guy who actually went down there when he suddenly came across this old camera, or like a video camera. He, of course, the battery was dead, but he brought it back to the surface, recharged it, and the person actually somehow owned it. Well, it the person went missing in the catacombs, never been seen again. Those catacombs goes for at least a few miles in the directions. I don't think there isn't even any official maps of those locations. I mean, the catacombs is actually open for general public for guiding tours. I mean, if you want to go walk downstairs, watching that authentic human skulls along the walls, I do believe they even have even actual whole skeletons laying in there on the walls as well, like burials. But who knows? Have you guys heard of any mysterious creature in London's sewer system?
What, you mean like the London alligator? Because that's what I keep hearing about.
Not really, but boy, do I have a story for you. And don't worry, Idol. Again, guy, this is blood-free story. Don't worry. Well, basically, there was this London's sewer system had this huge problem with fat clumps, blobs, or fat masses. So the company sent down this camera on. I think you guys heard of this snake camera, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, as like just a normal camera on this long cable that you can down use for in the pipes or anything. But anyways, this company were plumbers. They were investigating of something, and as they were just using one of those sewers, in a distance around the corner, this figure looked at it like um, it was bone pale white and have human shaped head. And based on what this appearance, I think it was either yellow or white glowing eyes. Either that or it was a reflection from the light of the camera and had long supposed to be in front arms or even front legs. Each of those arms were um, um I don't know if you've seen uh, almost like Slender Man, which has the long arms, but this were crooked in like if they were, but those arms or front legs, if I think they were about maybe 5, 6 feet long, if it were stretched out. And this creature was just looking at this camera, but as the camera was moving forward, this creature disappeared around the corner. So it looked to be as human in shape, but except the arms were extremely long for his condition. And Mr. Nightmare, he actually made a video about this. Well, part of the video where he talked about it. And in which one? Don't know. I mean, he actually done a few. And but alligators in sewers in New York or something like that. It's not 100% urban legends since people actually found some alligators. Well, I think it was even supposed to be albino alligators. I mean, albino alligators, I can understand. Green ones, definitely. Almost black in color, can understand. I mean, if they're like dark green, almost like in black in color, which makes sense. But orange alligators do exist. They were one point considered as cryptids, but they do exist. Kind of cool though. I wonder. I mean, what if you were to encounter, I don't know, say, um, let's say if you were to encounter a turtle and it's completely orange. You're like, dude, have you seen this? Like, what? An orange turtle? Someone must be painting it, or this is a unique. Well, it's just that. How would you guys react if you saw a snake that was, say, maybe 10, 12 feet long?
Well, I don't know.
Depend on, of course, if there's a harmless snake, like,
Well, I'll
okay,
tell you what I'd do. I would
run.
find I would find the nearest airport, go inside the plane, and then go to Florida and never come back.
Well, um, okay. how would you react if suddenly, if either you or Roy were going to use the bathroom, like you seeing suddenly the lock or the part of the toilet or is moving, and suddenly it flips up and a snake head, and maybe just maybe say half a feet above, and looks at you like say anaconda type snake, just pop up the toilet and look at you like.
If that happened, I would call over NASA and I would say, hey, I want to be part of that Mars mission. Get me off this planet as soon as possible.
Yeah, and another thing I know for certain you would either A, piss yourself, B, shit yourself. But okay, how this? Just imagine if that did happen and the snake suddenly start talking to you, like, "Hey, buddy, wrong house," or "How's it going?" If that happened, I would like, what? I would like, nope, I'm not having this happening to my old. Um, I did actually hear the one story, if this is real or not. Um, um, this involved a spider, but a numerous of at least a few people had died in an elevator. But two things: they have huge puncture wound on their neck, and the lack of blood. There were no blood on the ground or on the floor or in themselves. They was like completely drained of blood. Two people died from it. First, a man, and next, a teenage girl. But the sheriff and the police, they had asked in the public to figure out what was causing this. Because big punching walls, like two, you may immediately think, oh, it's a vampire? But this happened during the daytime, and vampires don't approach daytime. Well, I think this detective used the elevator, went up and down it a few times until it stopped between the fourth and fifth floor, and part of the roof in the elevator just, you know, slides open, and according to the story, a spider showed up. Not small. This one was reported to be as 3 feet long. That is a big freaking spider. And, well, according to the story, it was killed and its own nest was burned, or at least destroyed. But this is supposed to be cover up if it actually happened. I mean, 3 foot long spider. Uh, if that was around my girlfriend, she may just simply ran as hell as far as she could because she is. Yeah, she doesn't care much about spiders that way because she is terrified about them. I don't tell you. Oh boy. Is there anything you guys are afraid of?
Well, lightning's one for me anyway.
Lightning?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I can see that happening. What about you, game guy?
Yeah. Just heights, really.
Hmm, makes sense. Personally, I really don't have much except for fear of heights. But it has gotten a little bit better over the years, but otherwise, it still doesn't affect me much. But I wouldn't say if I could handle being up high as I know in a plane. Never been on one, so I don't know. It's like, I mean, if I could handle that type of heights, then I probably beat my fear heights a little bit easier. But if I can't be on the plane, well, only one trip over to US is by boat, or maybe a submarine. But I don't know. At least I know of Faigal is scared of spiders, including her brother as well. But I don't know if our friends, or any of our other friends, are afraid of something. At least, what I know of. I don't. I don't think we had even asked any of our friends if they're scared of something. I mean, I think maybe Malachite could have been scared of something, but I don't know. Okay, this might be a little bit crazy question, but what is the longest you guys can be up without having any sleep?
Well, I usually go to bed like 9 or 10. This guy, on the other hand, well, before the day I started showing up in your streams, I think that was like around August, back when I was in school. Sometimes I'd do overnights. Like I'd have a thingy-mabobber, like I'd stay up overnight.
Well, myself, well, I don't even have any problems to be up all night if I want to. Sometimes I can be in, I don't go to bed around, say, 7, 8 in the morning. Later to get up around 1 or maybe 2. One time I didn't even get to bed until, well, of course, I did get up several times to use the bathroom. Otherwise, just went back to sleep, and I didn't get out of bed until, what was it, 8:30 p.m. And surprisingly, my parents never told me to get up, but hmm. Otherwise, I can be up all night if I don't have work or if it's middle of the weekend. I mean, I don't have any problems with that. Oh boy. Well, I wonder how things will be like when we have a new dog in the family. It's just, you never know. Is there to start whining or barking in the night? Um, we did used to have one dog, but she did make a lot of sounds when she was excited to get out, like if someone like taught her, or if someone was beating her. That what type of she sound made she made. Well, I mean she was part husky, so that makes sense. But I mean, other than that, the sound she made is she was actually a fun dog. Um, your dog that you have was it his name, Buddy?
His name was definitely not Buddy.
Huh? Do you guys know what kind of dog it is?
He's one of those mixed breeds, and I know one of them's a poodle, but I don't know what the others are. I think it's part golden retriever too. I think so.
So it's like two mix.
I think it's more than two.
Oh, okay.
I forget how many mixes there are. I just know he's part poodle.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, well, that depends what type of poodle there is. There is I think 4 or 5 types of different poodles. Our dog is actually 50% toy poodle and 50 Labrador. And well, it's a tiny one that usually. I think it's about 8 or 9 weeks old. And let's say this is not potty trained as much. He's not allowed to stay in my room overnight until that is taken care of. I mean, I don't want to clean up his pee or poop on my floor or bed. Well, it is. He can't get up on my bed until if I put him there, but otherwise, no problem. Though I didn't grow up having dogs in my family. They were mostly cats, rats, birds, rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters, most part. But only for the past 10 years or so, we have been having at least a few dogs. But unfortunately, um, my parents were even been able to handle the big dogs, like, say, Grand Daniels or Saint Bernard, since they really required a lot of walks like that. And the funny thing is, this is a story that my mom told me once. She had an acquaintance years ago, and they had an upstairs. This couple had this. I think it was a Saint Bernard or Lionberger, which is a. Well, I think it was a Saint Bernard. Um, they have a neighbor below them, and each time this neighbor below, um, I call them below neighbor because where they live, they had this. They heard always, almost every single day, a very loud bang or thud about the floor every single day. And one day, the wife and the below neighbor was when invited over for some coffee. Uh, they were just talking, and suddenly the dog walked in the kitchen and laid down on the floor with a big thud. And then it actually hit the below neighbor. It was a dog who made the sound every single time. It just laid down on the floor. I mean, considering Saint Bernards are big, heavy dogs, which makes completely sense. And when the neighbor below asked about this, and the owner of the dog, well, according to my mom, was a little bit embarrassed and apologized. But the below neighbor wasn't even upset because he had always wondered what would make the sounds like that all the time. Well, turned out there was just a dog laying down on the floor with a big thud. I mean, consider that for all. Saint Bernards are big, heavy dogs. I mean, you probably would have felt like, say, I mean, it probably would be the same thing as, like, say, say, if Game Guy or Roy was laying on the couch and in the living room, and suddenly you had a big dog upstairs and it's laying on the floor, a big thud. You're probably like, what the? And you realize, oh, it's just a dog. Oh, um, have you guys ever been experienced any burglary at your house?
Nope.
Oh, me either. But do you guys have any big chimney like those from Home Alone type of movie that you're just Santa Claus can get down in?
I don't think so.
Well, here's a funny story I heard recently about a guy that tried to make the break in the house. This guy literally climbed on the roof, climbed down in the chimney. Well, here's the funny part. The owners heard this crying sound in the chimney, so they called the fire department. They came and they literally broke a hole in the wall, and they had to do that because the burglar or the thief, he was stuck in the chimney. So, and he was crying the whole time, but they pulled him off. And that's why people should not be trying to break in by someone's chimney, because despite you think you may be skinny enough to do that, to pass through it, but the thing is, don't do it. Even as if Roy would be so skinny himself, like, oh, I can do it, and whoops, oh crap, I'm stuck. So yeah, don't try to enter the house through the chimney, because sometimes you either get stuck and you may be there, because that depends if the homeowners is at home. I mean, just imagine if someone tried to enter the chimney, the house owners, the homeowners, are not even at home. I mean, just imagine they're away for a whole week or a weekend. This guy is stuck there for a whole weekend. That's just horrible. But I mean, how often do you find that the stories of people break in a house through the chimney? I don't think that's often. Other than the window or door, but a chimney? I don't think that often. Well, that depends if the chimney is big enough for that, but otherwise, I don't think it's that common. Wonder if anyone else is gonna show up. Assumed Retro talked
No idea.
about. Assumed that Retro talked about, Game Boy and other games that he had. Oh yeah, I remember. Next week. You know what happened then?
Hmm?
You know what happened next week?
What?
Well, if I say the word false, ring a bell?
Nope.
Second word, water. Water. Ring a bell?
I
What do you get if you
I got
put
nothing.
both? So, okay, what would you get? What word would you get if you put water and false as one single word? Don't tell me you don't know what you get it.
I really don't. I got nothing.
Water and that word false. If you put
Oh, you're
those
saying
in,
you say false. I thought you said false, as in like Ron. So I was
nope,
like,
false.
what?
Okay,
No, yeah,
first of
no,
all,
he's right. Next week is Niagara Falls. So
yeah, I mean, first of all, water fault. Uh, there is no word water fault.
hmm.
uh, but waterfalls is actually impressive things that to see. I mean, Niagara Falls, not that. I wonder if they actually is considered as one of those seven natural wonders. Hmm. Let's see. How much water falls in how much water falls down for this um oh, never mind. Um the whoa, whoa. The height of the river or the waterfall is about 188 feet. Apparently, okay. Do you guys know how many waterfalls that there is actually part of Niagara Falls?
A lot.
But guess how many?
No clue. $13?
Well, 19,
It's at 13.
13. Not even close. Not even 10. It's actually three waterfalls. Sweden's tallest waterfall. Ooh. Uh, let's see. It's about 305 feet. Even though never seen it in person, but only seen a picture of it. But the only waterfall I actually seen in person, there was, well, this one wasn't even that big, honestly. Um, there was actually in the woods where my grandfather he rented this cabin for the summers for a few years until his late wife passed away. Um, that waterfall wasn't even running every single day. It's only day that it has rained out enough, but it was actually a very beautiful sight, even though it was just probably, I don't know, say 10 feet or maybe 14 feet tall from height to ground, from about at the top. It was impressive, even with the scale small, but are you gonna play anything tonight?
No, all my stuff's back at mom's, not at dad's, so.
Oh, never mind. Um, okay. Talking about games, what is your opinion about Minecraft as being a movie?
Oh boy. I have so many thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I bailed out. I mean, I don't think. I
I
mean,
didn't say
since
that.
then, well, they hadn't even made the movie yet. They only have it untitled Minecraft movie or film, which I mean, I don't think there is enough information about this particular movie yet. Or like when I first I was like, Minecraft movie? Seriously? No, that might be something though, but just I mean, this is not the first time they actually made a movie based on a game series. I mean, just imagine Five Nights at Freddy is an upcoming movie that's based on a game. And Pokemon, same thing, based on games. They made a movie about it, multiple ones. Um, while others. But my opinion about that Minecraft as a movie itself, well, I'm actually curious to know exactly what they had in mind, what was happening in it. Unless it is supposed to be this main character somehow traveling to Minecraft world, traveling around, fighting against those zombies or those creepers or what are they called? Well, depending, of course, if the movie's gonna be happening. Sometimes big movie projects could happen, but eventually they are just scrapped. I did, in fact, read a little bit about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Um, and I was right. Shadow is gonna appear in the movie, but they hadn't even revealed the voice actor yet. But I do believe Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is gonna be released next year. I think. I wonder if there's gonna be if Eggman's gonna be appearing in the movie. Uh, mm, nope, not at all. No, it's gonna be being released December 20th, 2024. Oh, on March 6th, 2020, James Marsden confirmed that he signed for multiple sequels. In April 2022, Jim Carrey, who portrays as Dr. Eggman, a Robotnik in the film, announced he was considering retiring from acting. With his possible retirement, Neil H. Mortis and Toby Art Asher confirmed that his role, Robotnik, would not be recast in any sequels if he followed through the retirement. However, it remained hopeful that he could develop scripts that could good enough for him to continue the role. Hmm. Now that's impressive. Have you guys seen the first or second movie?
Uh,
Well, have you?
of what?
If you guys have seen Sonic 1 or 2,
Yeah, we've seen them. We think they're good.
well, I wonder how the third movie is gonna be like. Well, I mean, there's one movie based on a game which complete failure. Super Mario Bros. 1993. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's complete bullshit movie. I mean, some of the special effects were in early stages. Oh, okay. You guys probably heard of this game or the movies. Silent Hill. Is that a movie you heard of? Or a
I've
game?
heard of this game, but I've never heard of the movie.
Well, I think they actually made two or three of the part of the movies. Um, just to be insane, this is a movie that you don't want to see. All I can say is I saw one clip from this movie where this character called Pyramid Head, yeah, he literally had this metal shape of as a pyramid on his head, literally. Um, for what I saw, and this is very graphic, but he somehow summoned this metal wires. You can use all those uh, for cattle or sheep to keep them in their pens or something like that. That summoned that middle of nowhere and literally ripped a woman apart from inside out. It just when I saw that, oh, let's see, I wasn't giving much sleep for at least a few days. That literally, yeah, mm-mm, mm-mm. Thanks, but no thanks. So, Silent Hill movies is one of the few franchise I don't even want to watch. Not even for $1 billion in the world. Not at all. I mean, it's just okay. You guys must have heard of Saw franchise. Have you?
Nope.
Saw movies.
Hmm.
Roy, have you heard of those?
I have, yeah.
Oh boy, I'll tell you though, game guy. It's it's a franchise that you don't want to see. This is literally horror, but not your typical monster or serial killer. This is torture horror movies. It's I hadn't even seen any of them, but based on what I saw, no, thank you. Okay, have you heard of Human Centipede movies by any chance?
Which one?
Have you ever heard of a movies called Human Centipede?
Oh boy.
You have?
That is. Well. It. Yeah.
Well, I have. And I'll tell you, it's the worst. I think they even have other one of those movies, full movie on YouTube or these clips of it, but they actually did kind of use something similar in South Park, where they use when they made a human centipede. But Human Centipede, Saw movies, and Silent Hill is a few movies I were never going to watch at all. Not for any money in the world. I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. I mean, I have seen so many horror movies over the years, but I mean, I even saw the original Poltergeist when I was just barely, just maybe just 10 or 9 years old. And that didn't even freak me out. Um, have you guys heard of Paranormal Activity movies by chance?
Yeah.
That is a franchise I only seen like the first of the movies, but not only it was bad, but only one scene literally freaked me out. Well, it was near the end of the first movie, where the mother was somehow dragged out the bedroom by an unseen force, and the oldest daughter walked into the living room, saw her dad was watching some TV, and literally just grabbed his head with both of her hands and snapped his neck like quick napping and walked away and grabbed her baby brother and just left the house. That part freaked me out. But otherwise, the movie didn't scare me at all. Though there's actually one movie that I know of. It is the only one I know that had both its trailers removed from TV and even YouTube. And that was The Nun, the first one they made. Apparently, it was so freaking horrible. It was so freaking terrifying that people required or almost demanded they have it removed, being as shown in the trailers. I can't understand why. I mean, The Nun, the first one I made, that's just one of the worst. Though, have you guys ever seen any of those movies based on that franchise? The Nun, Conjuring, Annabelle, by any chance?
The Nun? Isn't it like a new movie or whatever?
Yeah, they actually made the second one recently, and but I'm actually would see. I would actually when I'm been watching anime. Oh, you know, I actually saw this video of two guys from BuzzFeed Unsolved. They actually went to this museum where the actual Annabelle doll was located. They mentioned the story of a guy. He taunted the doll to show that it actually was haunted or possessed by a demon. And the guy eventually left on his motorcycle with his girlfriend behind him, and they were talking about it and laughed. And, well, they end up crashing the motorcycle, and the boyfriend, dead, the girlfriend, survived. And that goes to show you don't mess around with Annabelle, no matter what you do. Even though that she is in a cabin, in that cabin is supposed to be soaked in holy water, but never, and I mean never taunting her or demanded to show that she actually do something because it could eventually backfire or even kill you in unexpected ways. So demons is one thing you don't want to even mess around with. I'm being serious. Don't even do that. It just don't. But the story of Annabelle, it is this it was originally as a gift from uh, a gift to a woman. She was 28 when she get it from her mother. And basically, what happened that this daughter had a boyfriend. One time, the boyfriend actually was get had 3 claw marks on his chest, and after a few days, those were healed. And even though the shirt was soaked in blood, another time he could literally feel that he was having sleeping paralysis, and the doll was crawling up of his leg up to his face and trying to strangle him. It is alleged that happened. But if it's true, I don't know. But like I said, I really wanted even though I want to go if I would go there in person, I would not hunt or taunt or teasing Annabelle. I would say show respect in as not want to be one of the next targets. You know, Annabelle is not the only haunted item in that particular museum. Apparently, there is one freaking weird doll that was used in by a cult. And yeah, there are many weird stuff in that weird museum. It's yeah. So if you were to come across any dolls that are possessed by demons or anything, don't do that. Or never, I mean, never use a Ouija board. For God's sake, don't use that because despite knowing that you want to contact a friend or a member in your family that passed away, you never know what's come through. If it's a demon or something even worse than that, you know, it's not worth it at all. Hmm. Wait, what? Oh, okay. It was like, um, huh. Untitled Pac-Man film. Really? Well, apparently there is no actual release date on this one. Hmm. Can you guys handle otherwise horror movies by chance?
I can, but Kyle can't.
I mean, yeah, I think he could if there weren't any, you know, blood or anything in the movie. But well, that depends if
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I meant. Sorry.
mm, you know, even though okay, you know the movie where Eddie Murphy is playing Haunted Mansion, right?
Yeah,
If they use blood in that movie,
at least I think
despite
I
being a
do.
horror, but would you handle if they use blood in that movie, even though there's a horror comedy one, not an actual horror, but this spooky environment, but it's supposed to be a comedy. I mean, if there's like
Mm.
say, even
The
though
way I
knowing
see
this
it,
is
there's not really a way to make blood comedic.
mm, okay, okay, this movie yeah definitely know you all heard of, The Shining. Am I right?
Yep, that's Stephen King, right?
Oh, dude, there's one scene he definitely would, a few scenes that he would definitely faint if it saw it happened. One where the father or the former caretaker uses axe to killing his twin daughters, and the scene where this when the elevator opened and a flood of blood just pouring out. That is these two scenes I definitely could see he either been ghostly pale or, pass out. And just, I mean, even though okay, if he saw the movie for the first time and he wasn't aware of that particular scene, and if that happened, he's like, ugh, pass out. I mean, I can imagine it. Seriously. But the sequel they made of Shining, Doctor Sleep, well, based on what I saw, what I read about it is, it's weird. Like having this vampire-like beings eating from people, but not blood, but they live off people. You know the boy that had this shining ability? That is what those people live off. And he eventually sacrificed himself in a sequel. Saw the first movie, but never going to see the sequel because, yeah, it doesn't sound that good. As you all know, sequels, terrible, terrible. well, depending on which franchise it is, but otherwise most of the sequels are complete trash. By the way, how long is this stream gonna last?
Not sure. I'm not speaking enough for 2 hours and 6 minutes. Probably until 3 hours, maybe. I don't know.
That or 20 hours. Nah, I doubt it that you would even be been awake by that. I mean, I remember only like yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago when we were playing Super Millionaire? Oh boy, you were so tired. You could barely get out of get any.
I wouldn't have gotten the
Oh.
points anyway, because most of what I got were Malachi questions, but
Oh man, I mean, be honest there. Those questions were mostly being used before. And even though I know your memory sucks sometimes, but I'm pretty sure you can at least remember some of those questions, or at least being by reading the question, you might, oh, by the way, we used this once before, even though you don't maybe not remember the answer. But sometimes my memory is not as good as I usually want to. But it was fun though. Well, I hope that you guys are prepared for an overnight stream by the end of the month for Halloween. Hopefully.
are you gonna do one of these streams the week when we're at Niagara Falls?
Mm, um, no, I don't think so. I won't even do this week either because um I think I have only uh 1 2 hours left, give or take. So I won't do any stream this week. But next week, if I did, I doubt there's gonna be any any Geisha streams since your brother was the one that chose world history, and well, if I did that and he wasn't there, he'd be like, "Man, I missed it out," or he like, "You should have waited for us." So that's gonna be maybe perhaps the 20th or 21st, but maybe 20th. And the next longer stream that's gonna be like we did last time, well, I don't know to be honest. I mean that depends on a few things, like if I have enough hours for that and topic. I mean if it's gonna be, if it's gonna be say space questions for 250 questions, that wouldn't be that hard. I mean I only had one quiz that's already made for 81 questions, and I do have a folder that's, wow, um, I think probably around 50 or maybe 80, or I think maybe between 70 or 90. I think it's released between 50 and 70 screenshots of questions. And of course, I even had some science magazines that had some questions that I can also use for. And well, that or maybe I say maybe we can do maybe a longer about SCP Foundation. That have been a while. Maybe Pokemon, maybe MLP. It depends. depending on what people choose want to use. Um, Question: if someone wanted to make or wanted to use backrooms, and if they wanted to be in, and they ask you as to want to make the questions, like if somebody said, well, since this is going to be a longer stream, like, can Game Guy be able to do 250 questions about the backrooms? I'd be like, well, that might be hard, since he probably used most of his questions already. And he may not even have to find enough questions or enough material for that. Even if you did, you may not perhaps find enough for that. Am I right?
No, but no one stopped me from trying.
True. I mean, if you give your honesty though, do you think you could even come up with 250 questions otherwise? I mean, since consider that if we use some of the questions already, or at least topics.
As it is right now, probably not.
Even if you would, since I do remember one question from I think the first backrooms about if the party poopers, yeah, funny name for that type of creature, if they went extinct. I mean, if you did read more about the party poopers, it's like mentioned like from which level they were supposed to be seen, or if there were any
Well,
mentioning how.
here's the thing. The difference between the backrooms and the SCP is that the backrooms are always changing, which is part of why I like it so much. Is they do that on purpose. Creatures that were like really rare, like the party poopers or the frowners, which are like the opposite of the smilers. They were there before, and now they're not there because they've gone extinct. Like the pages on them are gone now because they've gone extinct, so the information's gone extinct too. It makes it more realistic, but it also makes it harder to track down information.
Well, true. I mean, even if on the first question we use for that when if they weren't extinct or not. I mean, for example, if we were to make another one based on the party poopers, like say, we could use the important like question like say which level were they supposed to be found, and if there were any descriptions like say mentioning how tall they are, or if they have any mentioning like if they have what type of skin color they had, or if it was any particular unique distinct features of them, if they had any particular say glowing eyes of it, if there's any particular colors they had, if we're mentioning if they were tall.
The other thing is there's two places to get backrooms information. There's the Wikidot, and then there's the backrooms wiki, which are two different places. So
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
one level and one in on the Wikidot might be different on the wiki page.
True. I mean, even if you would mention the party poopers or something, if you read more about them, say if you added some a question that since we know that they're extinct, maybe if you mention something about them, like say if they're mentioning their description, like if they were tall, short, if they were skinny, fat, or um, if they have any eyes, or if it was complete faceless creatures, or if there was something about them, if they just any information that could be useful. I mean, you never know. The same thing is when I'm making my cryptic questions. Like, if I'm talking about some particular, say, a lake monster or a sea serpent or something like that, if I just only find only a few information, like say, if I mentioned how big the creature is in length, or where this creature is supposed to be seen, or if it's a Bigfoot cryptid or something like that, like how big they are, or in which state they're supposed to be in, or if they have any particular name, like Skunk Ape, which has uh, Swamp Ape, or the Falk Monster, which has the nickname as Swamp Stalker. You never know. I mean, the same thing is for when it's come to the backrooms. If there's any mentioning of other things that we had used for questions, if there's any particular level, or if there's we did use some questions about certain items that were some type of food or drinks. If we did mention in those past questions, we mentioned, like, say, if they had certain flavor of, say, uh, watermelon, apple, or even orange, and then we can use that again. But if we even though we never used the question to mention it at, we only mention it, uh, what the name of it, and even like ask, knowing it has a certain flavor to it, and we can use that, and we can, even if it is mentioning in this top or in that particular article, mentioning like from at which level at the backrooms it only can be found, that can also be used as a question. Like, say, I don't remember if there was one drink that was type of water, and say if there is, say, if there was one room at certain level where there is a shark swimming around in a room, but there's no water in it, like floating around in midair in one particular room, and question is then, you can then be used as a question, like, say, at what level is this certain shark in a that's swimming around in a mid-air room without water located? And we can have a number of questions like that. And if there was any particular level where you could have access to maybe a radio or a computer, so you can have a direct contact with from the actual world you came from. Like, the only way to communicate with the outside world from the backrooms. And then saying, like, if they require a certain, if it's like if it were used as a truth and false, if your cert required maybe a password or maybe a key in order to have it to work. And you can maybe even use the same thing with if it mentioned on which level that computer or radio is located. If it's actually located at level 1000 or level 5 or even negative 10, something like that. Despite have used a topic of one question before, but if there's anything else that you could remember from that, if you used it before, could be used again. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I kind of did that once for my cryptids. I mean, I could have used maybe just one question, then and I learned some more new information of that particular cryptid, and I added in the next quiz, and assuming that could be used the same thing for the backrooms, despite maybe not be the same as much as the SCP Foundation, because here's the thing. SCP Foundation, from the site that I found, has total of 7,999 items, or at least SCPs. But not all of them are, those pages are, um, is not having any access to. Some of the pages hadn't even been written yet. Some may had, some others just don't even have any. Because the first one, SCP-001, for example, if you would click on it, you wouldn't find any information, even though the page do exist. But that particular SCP as a whole itself has isn't just one individual or one item. According to the list from the videos I've seen, it can be multiple things. like Scarlet King is supposed to be one of those potential ones. So, but when it comes to backrooms, if you would read more about the backrooms and you think maybe if I could, well, maybe you may not come up with 250, but if you would come up, maybe it's, I don't know, say 80 or 70 at most, that fine. That would be fine as well. Even if you came up with, say, maybe 70 or 71 or something, that would be perfectly fine. You don't really have to be making it 100 or even an 80. But if you would only come up with, say, 20 or 30 at most, well, I would say maybe not good enough. There had to be at least around maybe 70 or 90 as a standard. But if you would manage to somehow pull it off to maybe as 100 or maybe 120, that would be impressive. But of course, it's all up to you. If you want to do another backroom quest, that's up to you. I mean, I can always look in for myself also, but of course, it's something you and perhaps you and Roy could work together on. Oh boy, I just imagined if we would do a quiz based on gyms. That would have been something for Roy to be up for. Am I right?
Yeah, maybe.
But I can actually see myself. We can perhaps use another backrooms. I mean, if you would come up with enough questions, perhaps. Who knows? I mean, I see this potential at least. A few topics we may never have any problems with, like space, since we learn new things about it all the time. So I don't see anything wrong with that. And if we find anything about the backrooms, well, anything is possible.
Hmm. Well,
I mean, even if you wouldn't be able to make any questions about backrooms, there's always another topic, Mario.
actually, there might be an easy way to do a backrooms quiz. Thing is, there's so much stuff in the backrooms. Objects, entities, levels, tails and groups, that kind of thing. So it's a lot to keep track of. But earlier, like a few months ago, I was doing something and I accidentally discovered, because I feel like I do all these things accidentally, I discovered this computer can actually do something called vertical tabs, which lets me have 95 tabs up at the same time. So, holy shit, 95? This computer is a lot more impressive than you think it is. I give this computer crap, but 95 isn't anything to scoff at. That's 95 tabs we're talking about at the same time without barely any slowdown. So if I can get that to work, and if I can get the vertical tabs to work on the other two, because well, I don't have to do that. Maybe I might be able to make it another quiz. I don't know. I'll have to figure out the vertical tabs, and then I'll have to see what I can find with all the stuff in this place. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I could probably try to figure out any quests up my backrooms, but yeah, there's not always a guarantee that if I came up with enough questions, I can always just look into it.
Yeah, let me check some real quick. Okay. Welcome to the Backrooms database. Thank you for being so nice. Tales, cannons, persons of interests, groups, objects, entities, levels. Let's see. Negative, anomalous, dimensions. If I ever do make another Backrooms quiz, I'm not gonna do any joke levels or joke entities or joke objects. Alright. I'm telling it to you. Let's see the library on this. Holy shit. Cannons, routes, phenomena. I haven't checked this out yet. What's this? What is this? What is phenomena? Oh, this is cool. Alright, I get it. I get the phenomenon now. I cannot suck. I'll figure that out later.
Yeah, probably best.
I guess.
Any tired?
Not really. How about you?
Nope, not at all. Still clear awake, as was it was be midday.
Apparently, it was too quiet over in Discord, and you threw us a gif.
I don't know why. Just bored. I might just I'll place put party afterwards after this is done. I don't know. Maybe.
Alright. I don't know if I'll join or not. Probably not. I gotta figure out the whole backroom situation. I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not.
I mean, I'm not going to play it at the moment, though, just until after the stream is over.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out the whole backroom scene after this is done too. That's what I'm getting at. Hmm. There's so many of them. Look at these.
Excuse me. So, how are the otherwise things over there?
Oh, they've been good. Have you been?
Could be worse. I don't want to complain. The day has been really calm for most part. I really just haven't done much. I mean, parents was away for a few hours to get out the new dog, and so I was home alone with the cat, and that's pretty much it. Been watching some TV and being at the computer. Pretty much it. Well, that and doing the stories on that I was asked to do, but other than that, it was not much work on it. It's about total of 7 stories, audio stories in just one day, which is a new record. Last time I did that, some around 5 or 6, one day. Day after, well, my throat was not happy on me though. you know, one time when I was really have a bad sore throat, I'll tell you, my parents, or at least my family, could barely understand what I said a single word. That bad was it. It just the day before, at least the night before, I started having this really bad cough, and just started out of blue, and just continued. And as I was coughing so badly, my parents literally walked in my room at when I was asleep. I don't know. I think it was about around midnight or so, and they were just asking me what if I found something wrong, or just, well, according to my parents' description, how my voice sounded like the next day. Um, well, um, it's something like if I was like a deep voice walrus. They literally called my voice as I was as like a as something like a walrus. That deep. I mean, my throat was so dry and it's so raspy I could barely hear myself. I just, wow. Well, it hasn't even happened since, but okay. That was pretty a bit weird, but you know, things like that can happen that you at least expected. By the way, did you know elephants can talk?
Excuse me?
Yep, you remember right. Did you know that elephants can talk?
No.
Well, do I have news for you? One elephant in South Korea can actually speak.
Like,
Well, like human speech, yeah. But it only thing is the difference that they had to put its own trunk in its own mouth, and it can
But
only say, for some reason, it can only speak one or two words in Korean.
but how?
I have no idea. I mean, the first time I actually heard about this supposed elephant talking Korean, I was like, there's no way. There's no way for that to be real. So I looked up on YouTube, and sure enough, they did show us clips of where an elephant put his trunk in his mouth in some precision and was able to say at least one or two words each time in Korean, like hello, trainer, or something. I was like, um, okay. Because when I first read this article, an elephant can actually talk. I mean, I was very hesitating to believe that's such a story. I mean, I know certain animals, like parrots and, uh, well, mostly parrots, can speak or at least mimic voices. But okay, I was like, elephant? What's next? A donkey can like sing opera? That would be something though, but yeah, I was like, there's like no way that's real. What? Turned out it was real. Though, did you guys know if, I don't know, a chimpanzee or can smoke?
That at least makes more sense than elephants being able to talk.
Well, I mean, if you look it up a little later, it's true. But based on what I understand, this is about the chimpanzee can smoke. Well, I saw this on YouTube also. Um, this zoo in North Korea has a chimpanzee, and it smokes, I think, one or two packs of cigarettes. I think it's only one pack of cigarettes in just one day, and that is apparently one of main attractions at that particular zoo. A smoking chimpanzee? Seriously, that's just so wrong. I'm surprised that they even had even been able to shut down by any, well, animal rights organizations. You know, having an elephant been talking like that is not like any cruelty. It's, I mean, if they train the elephant to being able to talk like that, I mean, I've seen elephants make paintings or at least drawings of their use their trunk to paint. It's not either as a bad thing either. They just simply allow the elephants to be creativity to make something. And I mean, they use chimpanzee or even gorillas. In fact, they tested one baboon in some tests to see, and it could literally make out 10, I think it was a 10,000 things to, point out how advanced they're, at least they, I think it was a 1,000 or 10,000 items they could tell what they were. And that's impressive. I mean, but having a chimpanzee like that in a zoo smoking cigarettes just as a form of attraction, no, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. But
So
unfortunately,
Ron is saying heard.
yeah, but unfortunately, there's no way much we can do about it. Since North Korea is very much seclusive and very, I think at least a bit hard, a country that's very hard to get into. And if people try to leave, well, their own citizens try to escape, well, mostly end up in prison camps. I think it's either for life or for a few years. where they will have to work hard. It's yeah, I don't know what is. You know, most zoos or circus around the world, actually, even including my own country, most of those circus have been forbidden to have any exotic animals performing, like zebras, elephants, camels, anymore. Now these days are just clowns, dogs, maybe just normal horses, and something like that type of performance, because they have been considered as animal cruelty. But zoos, by the way, is not the same. Most majority of zoos around the world is part of this international treaty or organizations that, well, working to preserve certain species from going extinct, like leopards, jaguars, even elephants, or even rhinos. And it makes sense though. I mean, certain animals that only lives in certain particular part of the world, and we destroy their natural habitat. It's, I mean, we had wiped out many animals over the years. If I mentioned if I say extinct animals that went extinct during, say, from modern times and backwards, is there any animal that you know that went extinct?
Um, what? Oh, there's the woolly mammoth, and the
Correct.
white tiger. I think is also went extinct.
True.
I'm pretty sure.
If I mentioned a bird named, I don't know, dodo.
That too.
Yep. Well, you know, wild mammoths are, well, they might be, is very much still up to the debate if humanity was the main cause of they went extinct directly. It may not have a direct effect to wipe them out. You know, I mean, when they were living in a cold Siberia during the Ice Age, they were only living a certain type of food source. And as the climate changed a bit warmer, suddenly those open plains were replaced with dense forests. And with lack of food source, they had to migrate to other places. And eventually, they were hunted down by humans, so human and climate has in both direct contact to that. But most people hearing, when did the last mammoth die out? People may think, oh, by the end of the Ice Age, like 10,000 years ago. I would say, wrong. They didn't. They lived way much longer than that. They, which is true. Because a pack of, at least a small insulated packs of, or herds, survived in the northern part of a few islands in northern Siberia or northern Russia around, I think, 4,500 years ago. And there is actually even, well, some small dwarf mammoths that survived on Crete in the Mediterranean Sea, I believe, around, I think it was around the same time, 4 to 3,000 years ago. Um, the woolly mammoths, but did you know there was any woolly rhino?
No.
That is, they exactly lived around the same time as woolly mammoths. But the difference is that the horn was almost twice as long as the modern rhino has. That big were. And there is actually one um, a rhino that still lives today, which is also covered in hair. Well, not much as that as the woolly mammoths, but at least part of it lives on Sumatra or near Indonesia. Same thing as for. Okay, if anyone mentioned panda to you, which is one that you preferred? Which one is that you came to your mind when someone used the word panda to you?
The black and white ones.
That is most people assumed to correct, unless the red panda. But there is actually two great pandas in China, black white and brown and white. The brown and white one is a subspecies. And I don't think it is the same amount of numbers as the black and white one. There were actually a group of people that managed to breed a black and white and a brown and white panda, and the offspring, well, turned out to be brown and white. Well, for at least for a while, but when getting older, it turned to be black and white. I mean, you know, do you know what happened if a black and white panda have twins in nature, in the wild?
No.
Well, they abandoned one of the twins. Because they won't be able to feed both the twins. I know this sounds cruel, but it's nature. I mean, think about even our earliest ancestors before we became permanent settlers. Same thing. We only had maybe just one kid at most, because if you have more than that, it would be hard to take care of them. And it's hard. I mean, how would you even? How would you guys felt if you find out that you actually had not, or if you were the total 5 or 6 brothers, but what if the number was, maybe 10 brothers total? I mean, if those older brothers that lived had moved out.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if I find out I have at least a few brothers or other siblings out there, I'm like, you. I mean, if my parents know about this and they're like, you had known that for so long, and it took you like 30 plus years to tell me about it, I'd be like, what have you even? I mean, not like I would have been pissed or anything. I'm just very shocked. Like during that, I have maybe 1 or 2 siblings out there. So I'm like, well, that was really something. I mean, I'm like, well, there is actually even one movie of a guy who uh I think I don't remember the name of the movie, but let's see if I can find it. Ah, here we go. Delivery Man. Ooh. I'll tell you though. According to this, he made um 693 donations to a certain bank, for donors, and he later found out he has total 533 kids. Imagine that.
Hmm.
I mean, what if like your dad like he came out and he came home get home a paper, and that those donor children eventually turn 18 or maybe 20, they had the legal right to figure out, being told who their father is, and after say just imagine like either 20 or maybe just 10 others or like what if there's like 120 other kids out there have the same dad as you, and like and he tell you, by the way, Kyle, Roy, Dylan, you may have to sit down. I had something to tell you. And when he tells you that he used to be donor, but you can get paid for, apparently. Um, and then he mentioned that now the clinic had reached out to him that at least a number of those kids want to meet him. And when you probably ask how many kids do is involved, if it was just 5 or 6 others, you may okay, okay. I mean, if I already had 4 or 6 other brothers already, so 6 more or 5 more, that would be not a big deal. But if he mentioned it was total 120, you'd be like, wow, you may think like, did I, like did I hear right? 120? And you're that like, yes, 120 is total. And you probably thought maybe your dad was a joker or joked about it. Well, that depends if he was that type of joker, you know. But if you know that your dad wasn't that type of person joke around with it, well, then you might just like, Dad, what the hell did you even do? I mean, if he slept with 120 women, uh, that would have been like, Dad, you are such a player, you know that? But if it was a donor, that's a different matters. But how would your opinion been if your dad told you that he has, say, maybe 100 other kids out there?
I would be weirded out.
Mm-hmm. And especially if they were around, some of them could have been even around um, your age, or maybe as around, say, between 18 and in their 30s and 20s. Since your dad in his mid 50s, right? Or something.
Yeah,
I
around
mean,
that.
yeah. So what if you imagine you have a brother or a sister who's actually like in late 30s and early 40s? Like, wow, that's in, and not only that, but each one of us has maybe 2 or 3 kids of their own. That means, say, if you're like 100 kids of your dad would have if he was a donor like that, each has a around uh let's say that they have 3 kids each. That would be like 300 other nephews or nieces. You're like, and all of them came along with their kids to meet your dad, and like, Dad, you have at least 100 kids and 300 grandkids already, and he like might have a heart attack if that happened. But I mean, if this happened before he met your mom, well, if he told her about it then, and she like, well, one day they might just look up or want to meet their father in person. I mean, you know, I cannot. Oh, what if? I mean, what if there was actually the opposite? What if it was Roy, the one who could have been the donor, and if and that was just maybe just say 5 kids, and like you might like, Roy, what the heck did you do? But if it's just 5 or 2 kids, okay, that's something. Roy, did you ever consider yourself, well, when you were still with the Deanna, would you even consider it, settle down with her at one point?
I don't know, maybe.
Hmm. I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, it was looking quite serious though, honestly. But you know, I cannot even imagine how you felt when this star incident or drama happened. Just, I mean, I never actually went through that type of things myself, but I just, you know, cannot even imagine. Well, maybe you'll we'll find someone day.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, there is always another thing you could do.
I ain't online dating, no way.
No, 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 no. I wasn't talking about that. I was referred to be a wingman to your brother.
I already give him advice and stuff, so
Yeah, I mean, if he's like, you know, if there was someone he was interested in, and you know, maybe just giving the right points, you know, telling him what things to do, not to do, things you can talk about, and things that you don't want should not talk about. I mean, that is the most important rules when it comes to the first date with someone. Despite you probably know the person for, say, if there was a girl from high school, or maybe there was a next door neighbor's daughter, or maybe granddaughter around the same age, you know, something like that. And game guy would end up being, oh, she's beautiful. I have feelings for her. Then, even though he may have been a child or even to talk to her directly, but maybe he just move on from that point and do that. When he asks her out, and and since he never actually been on a date, and he perhaps doesn't know exactly what to do when, you know, and you may have maybe been on dates or some yourself, and you're given a pinpointers of things to talk about, and things that you shouldn't talk about, and you know maybe crack a joke or something to make her laugh and show you're really interested, to make maybe to make progress to second date, third date, and maybe after a while they hit off, then make it official. That's just another thing about brothers or older siblings, or maybe older friends, or maybe friends of the same age, had been dating for someone for long, could give us a pinpointer to that particular person. I mean, if I had someone in my friend, some friend that I who was interested in start dating, and I'm like, well, I'm your probably your man. But even though most of my relationships in the past it didn't last long, but I learned a few things over the years that could work. And this might not be as many people shouldn't take as optional, but movies, TV shows can actually even give you even also as ideas. Might surprise you, but even though those are fictional, but they can actually work. Sometimes, things like that happens. And since Game Guy is still young, he may still just still find his true love one day, unless he decides to date two women at the same time and they're completely aware of it and okay with it. Which I really doubt that that ever happened. I mean, if they did, I'd be like, dude, what did you even do for make that pull off? I mean, I only maybe just dated one girl, but two at the same time, and they were okay with it. I'm like, dude, dude. Wow. But you know, you're still young. You may find someone soon enough. But
Yeah, maybe.
just a big warning. Um, let's see if how would you felt if someone was um 30, will maybe in their 50s, ask you out?
I'd be weirded out.
Bingo. Because that happened to me once. I wasn't even that older than you. I was about 22 years old when it happened, and at the time, me and my ex had broken up about maybe a few days or maybe a week earlier, and this older woman, I think she was either between 40 and 45 at the time, she asked me if I want to be her new boyfriend. I was like,
Hola.
wow, but
My dad's back.
yeah, that,
Excellent.
but I said no, of course. Sheesh. Um, stream gonna last longer or 3 hours at most?
No, it's gonna end right now.
All right.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Hmm. So when is the next time? Not
Who
this week,
knows?
maybe, but
We'll figure it out. Anyway,
well,
see you guys next time. I stream or Swedish streams or whenever. Bye.
yep. See ya.
See ya.